So my name is Keisha Lockyer, and I'm here representing Skills Canada, Newfoundland, and Labrador. Here with me today is special guest Jeff Hilliard from Techno Tutors, who will be facilitating this event. For those of you who don't know, Skills Canada is a not-for-profit organization that helps educate youth and other demographics on the various careers in skilled trades and technologies. I'm going to hand it over to Jeff so he can talk about a little bit about himself and their organization, and we'll get the workshop started.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Hi, everybody. Good morning. My name is Jeff Hilliard. As Keisha said, I'm with Techno Tutors, part of the Community Sector Council. I also have joining with me Kyle and Kylie. They work with me at the Community Sector Council as well. I'm going to share my screen now. I have a presentation we're going to go through. When I do that, everybody's screen is going to change. You're going to see the presentation. Don't worry, that's what's supposed to happen. So I'll share my screen now, and in a second, you're going to see you'll see the presentation there. Alrighty, does everybody see my presentation, digital employment skills?
All good.
Good stuff, awesome. Okie doke, so just dive right in. We always start off by kind of briefly explaining who we are, where we're from. So we work for the Community Sector Council, Newfoundland and Labrador. Just like Skills Canada, we're a nonprofit, independent organization focused on making Newfoundland and Labrador a prosperous and inclusive province. Neat thing with the Community Sector Council is we're a really small local organization. There's about 18, 19 employees who work for the community sector across the island. So that makes us a little bit different. We're able to see when there's gaps in services and sometimes make programming that can help the community. And that's actually what we've done with Techno Tutors. We saw that there was a funding opportunity, so we applied for it, and here we are. So I have a short, like a minute-long video I'm going to play that kind of explains what Techno Tutors are and what we do. Any second now, there we go. Can everybody hear me?
I can hear you.
I got a gentleman there in the comments that can't hear anything, so I'm not sure why that would be. Can anybody, I guess, feel silly to say, can anybody else not hear me? Is anybody, no? Everybody hear
You're all
me?
good on my end.
Okay. That's a little bit about us. Basically, people always ask me, what do we do? What kind of, like, what's the, the short answer for what we do? Everything about Techno Tutors is helping people learn how to use the internet to improve your day-to-day life. That's the one takeaway that we want people to get from our classes. And we help people of all ages, all walks of life, all experiences. Some people are brand new to technology. Some people are pretty familiar with technology. We offer all kinds of classes. You can check us out online at technotutors.ca. Check out our calendar. We're doing everything online through Zoom now. So if there's anything in our calendar that interests you, feel free to register and join us. There's no charge for anything that we do. The reason there's no charge is this is all made possible by the federal government and the Digital Literacy Exchange Program. And we're always asking for feedback. The feedback you give us lets us know what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong, and lets us know ways we can improve and can improve the program. So we're always looking for feedback. That's always helpful for us. Before we start, a couple of quick housekeeping items. I believe Keisha sent out a registration survey to everyone. If everybody could fill that out, if this is your first time taking a Techno Tutors class, that would be very, very helpful. We need that for our funder to go back and let them know the demographics of who's taking our classes. We don't give anybody's private information away or anything like that. We just let them know that, you know, in 2020, 800 people took our classes, so many identified living in rural Newfoundland, so many identified as speaking another language and English as a first language and things like that. We always ask nobody take any photos before during the session because this is a public session and there's other people on the class, so we don't want anyone to take photos and accidentally get pictures of other people on their screen. If anybody wants the slides afterwards, you can let us know and we can be more than happy to get you the slides. Geisha already went over muting yourself, so that's perfect. We don't need to worry about background noise. Zoom has a raise your hand feature. If you need to, if you're looking to get my attention, there's a button you can press that says raise your hand. I'll see that and I'll know you're looking for me. But otherwise, if you're looking for my attention, feel free to unmute yourself and just kind of yell at me or say, hey, Jeff, what was that? Or hey, Jeff, can you explain that again? Or hey, Jeff, I didn't quite understand that. Or even, hey, Jeff, you're talking too fast, slow down, would you? That's all okay. So feel free to stop me anytime and ask a question. Or, of course, you can use the chat feature. So today we're going to talk a lot of different things about online job postings, online job searching. We're going to touch a little bit on resume writing tips and a few things like that. And we're also going to touch on employment scams and what to look out for. And this is actually really important in the COVID world where so many people have faced unemployment. There's been a lot of people out there trying to take advantage of people that are looking for work. So we'll go over how to spot that and what you should do. So when we say what is online job searching, what do we mean? Well, you know, it's pretty much as simple as it sounds. It's using the internet to search and apply for jobs. Job search websites post many different types of jobs from many different employers, and there's lots of different online job searching websites out there. The two common sites we're going to talk about today is Indeed and Canada's Jobbank. And we're going to do a hands-on demo for Indeed, and I have a video I'm going to play for Canada's Jobbank. Those are the two main ones we're going to talk about. And we're going to briefly mention Facebook jobs, but we're not going to dive too much into that one. I just want to make sure everybody is aware of it. And in Canada these days, many jobs are posted online. It's typically where people go these days to advertise a job. I know when I was growing up, when I was, you know, back 20 years ago, if I was looking for a summer job, you wouldn't go on, the internet was a thing, but you wouldn't go online and look for a job. You would wait till Saturday, go get the Saturday paper, open it up, and there'd be 15 pages of job ads in the Saturday paper. That's not the normal anymore. Usually online jobs are where you go. You need to be going to websites, searching for job postings, and typically applying online for these jobs. So it's really important to know how to do this and to feel comfortable being able to doing this. So which website should I use? Is there one that's better for me? Well, you know, there's lots of different choices out there, but first you should consider the field of work you're looking for. So Canada's Jobbank is good in the sense that it uses verified organizations and businesses and government positions. I can't just create a profile and post a job on Canada's Jobbank. So you know that it's verified organizations and businesses and government positions, and they're typically more professional looking postings or more professional like positions, things like trades and things like you know, professions like accounting and computer technology and things like that. Facebook Jobs is another online job posting site that is actually starting to grow, and I just want to make sure people are aware of this. So if you have a Facebook account, you can find jobs posted on Facebook, and you can even apply for jobs on Facebook, but it's much more informal. It typically tends to be on Facebook Jobs, based on my own observation. It tends to be things like odd job offerings, or even just like small businesses, things like retail positions, things like you know, waitressing, waitering, serving people, things like that. So if that's the kind of position you're looking for, Facebook is a good place to go look and see for these jobs. Real important thing if you're looking for jobs on Facebook, make sure you read the job description posting, because the way Facebook works, the way you apply online, there's not a whole lot of information you can give them, and a lot of employers would rather you not actually apply through Facebook. They actually say in the job posting, please email me your resume at this email address. So if you see that in the Facebook job post, well, obviously that's what you would do. So I just wanted to get that out there to make sure everyone understood. And then Indeed is a bit of a combination of both. Indeed has more professional type jobs, and then also other jobs that are not necessarily not professional, but things like retail, serving, and those sorts of things you'll find on Indeed as well. So the first one we'll talk about is Indeed. So Indeed is a really big job website. It's probably one of the biggest private job websites in the world. So what is Indeed? So the website is indeed.ca, and this is what it looks like when you first go to the website. And it's a job search website that has both employment and actually volunteer opportunities sometimes listed. Resumes can be uploaded, and you can use them to apply for a job. With only a few clicks, sorry. It's accessible via website or a mobile app as well. So before I go on, I actually just want to do a demo. So I'm just going to start a new share of a new screen. So does everyone see my screen here now? It's just like a web page. Everybody see that?
All good.
Okay.
I can see it, yeah.
Alrighty, so I'm going to go to indeed.ca, and when I get to the website, so this is what you see. It's pretty. They do a pretty good job of making it pretty straightforward into what you're going to be doing. So it says here one is here the icon, the cursor is flashing for where you want to enter the keywords for the job you're looking for. And I actually live in Mount Pearl. I'm working from home today, and it shows that, where is Mount Pearl. I can tell this is where I am. You can change it to St. John's. Usually, if I search just in Mount Pearl, it'll still show the jobs in St. John's. But you can change it to St. John's if you'd rather. That's not a problem. So, what kind of a job am I looking for? Let's say I'm a professional cook, and I'm looking for a job as a cook. So I can say cook, maybe I'll change this, go ahead and change this to St. John's. So when you start typing in St. John's, it comes up right away. I can click on that. So I'm looking for cook jobs in St. John's. And I can click on find jobs. Takes a second. And here we see all kinds of different postings. So it sorts it right here. If you can see on my screen, it says sort by relevance or date. So it sorts it by relevance because it's looking for keywords that have cook in it, and they're ranking them, high to low. I actually kind of recommend clicking on date, because if you go by date, it'll show the most recent jobs posted first. So so basically you want to be applying for the most recent jobs first, because these are the ones that are hiring, first, we'll say. It says, just had this pop up, be the first to see new cook jobs in St. John's, let jobs find you. So this is a thing, Indeed is always trying to get people to do this. And you can put in if I were to put in my email address and click here where it says send me new jobs, every couple of days, once there's been 3 or 4 new job postings for a cook, I'll actually get an email from Indeed that's going to say, hey, did you see these new jobs? And it's going to be letting me know when there's jobs being posted in the kind of field that I'm looking for. So if you're somebody who's actively in a job search, that's not a bad idea. I've actually used this feature myself in the past when I was looking for a new job. So I'm going to hit X right now because I'm not interested in this or getting emails, but I'll just hit X. And we can see all these different jobs. And I can kind of scroll down. There's page 1 of 38. There's 38 pages of jobs related to cooks. So that's very promising. So let's just scroll down. Let's just click on one of these job postings. So when you click on the job posting on Indeed, it's kind of neat. It pops up on the right-hand side. It doesn't actually take you to a new website. So that's kind of to a new page, I should say. So that's nice. And they're just kind of listing the experience that they're looking for. You can scroll down and learn what skills you're looking for. They're making it clear they're going to want to do a criminal background check. You're going to have your own transportation. When you see own transportation, that means that you're going to be responsible for getting yourself to and from work. Most employers, you are going to be responsible for getting yourself to and from work. It's very, very rare that an employer will pick you up and drop you off, but it does happen. Um, then they talk about the work conditions and the personal, the different things that they expect out of you, and that's all pretty straightforward. It says here apply on company sites. So sometimes with Indeed you can apply through Indeed. Other times the employer has set it up. They've set it up so that you can click on apply on company site. It'll take you off of Indeed. It'll bring you to the new company website, and that's where you would apply. So that's what they're doing here. Let's see if I can find one that says apply. No, apply on company site. Apply now. So this is one for Eastside Marinos. This is a bit of a nicer job posting. They're saying a bit more, it's a bit more friendly, a bit more information about what they're looking for, the job requirements. All this good stuff is here. So I can click on apply now. When I click on apply now, it gives me a space to enter my name, my email, my phone number, that's optional, and the city that you live in, you need to put that in, and any relevant experience, so basically your most recent employment, whatever that would be, and you can actually upload a resume. So it's all pretty nice and standardized. So yeah, so this is where I would put in, my name, like I say, Jeff Hilliard, email address. It's optional. I will say I live in Mount Pearl. Most recent position is training coordinator at community sector. And then upload my resume. It says here choose file. If you already have your resume saved on your computer somewhere, then that is the best place to go get it. And there's a place here where I can add a message to the employer, so I can type in a bit of a cover letter if I wanted to here, and just kind of let the employer know, hey, hi there, I'm interested in applying for this position. Here's some information about me, whatever you feel comfortable putting here, or you can leave this blank. You don't have to put anything in here if you're not comfortable. Then there's a checkbox here, notify me via email when similar jobs are available. So this is something you can tick this box and you'll get those emails from Indeed saying, hey, just so you know, there's a job posting available. Feel free to check out the job posting and that sort of thing. Personal choice whether you tick this box. You don't have to. So I'll click on continue. And they've actually sent a code to kind of verify who I am. They sent a code to my email address. So I won't go into that there now, but basically you would get the code from your email. You would enter that into here. They're kind of making sure that you're a real person. And then you just follow the steps to apply for the position. So you actually, the great thing with Indeed, you can do all of this without ever creating an account. You don't have to create an account with Indeed, which is kind of nice. If you want to create an account, that is something you can do by clicking on sign in. And down here it says new to Indeed, create an account. So you could do this, you would create an account with them and you would be able to sign in. And when you sign into Indeed, which I'll do here now, I'll show you what it looks like once you sign in. That's weird. All right, so it's actually, there's some kind of an issue. I'm not sure what it is. It's telling me that I'm supposed to do a CAPTCHA, but there's no CAPTCHA here. So I'm having a hard time signing in, but basically, once you create an account and you sign in, when you're applying for jobs, you can go back and look and see, oh, okay, here it is. Never mind, I'll show you there now. Just kind of verifying that I am indeed a human. Okay, so Indeed doesn't want to cooperate this morning, so this is a little bit unusual. Apologies for that. But this is basically, once you get signed in, you'd be able to see jobs you've applied for. You can look and see if you've applied for a certain job before. You can actually track if you get an interview, and you can kind of keep track of how you're doing on the job hunt. That can be kind of helpful to let you know, hey, I've applied for sometimes 25 jobs. I've had 10 interviews. And it kind of lets you know, hey, soon you're going to get it, kind of thing. So this is a short rundown on how Indeed works. I like to think it's pretty straightforward, but if anybody has any questions right now before we move on, feel free to there we are. Hey, so I see you have your hand raised.
Yes, Jeff. Hello. Good morning. Hello, good morning, everyone, as well. I just wanted to ask, you uploaded a previously made resume,
Yes.
and I actually happen to have an account with Indeed and with Jobbank, and I already have my resume in those platforms. So, do you recommend to attach an email or just use the one that it's already in the platform?
You can use the one that's already in the platform. Once you've already uploaded your resume,
Okay.
that's what you can do. When you go to apply, when you're going to apply and you're already signed in, it'll do that kind of for you. It won't necessarily ask you to upload a new resume. It'll just basically say like you use this resume, and you
Okay.
just and then just proceed.
Weird thing is that it didn't ask me for a cover letter, and I know that it's better if we send a cover letter, but it didn't ask me to, and I didn't know how to attach a cover letter. I don't know. I've been searching for a job, and I don't get that message of a cover letter.
So what we can do, I'll go back to Indeed,
Yes,
and
thank you.
um, come on, Indeed.
I believe it indeed signed you in now because I can now see a little, um,
Yeah, I am signed in. You're right.
yes.
Yeah. So I'm just going to quickly go here, apply now. So it has my resume listed here. Showing that I can upload a new one if I wanted to. I don't want to do that. I'll just stick with what I have.
Uh,
I'll say continue, and let me see here. Strange. Now let me scroll down. I don't know if where I'm doing this in Zoom, it's making it a little bit different than what it usually would be like. Let me see here. There is a place here for message to employer.
okay.
So this is where you could type in somewhat of a cover letter. There's also an option here for attach additional documents. So you could click on here, and if you had a cover letter written, you could upload a cover letter here and attach it before you submitted this resume to this job.
Okay. Very good.
Cool.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah.
No worries. That was a good question. Alrighty, so I'm just going to. It's 10:30 there now, so just to kind of keep us on time, I'm going to move on to the Jobbank, unless anybody has a pressing question there. If you do, by all means, let me know. Otherwise, I'll just move on to the Jobbank. Okay. Alrighty, so everyone should see my presentation again. We're still here on what is Indeed. Is that what everybody sees?
Yes.
Awesome. So this is the Canada Job Bank. The Canada Job Bank is a great website. It's what is Canada's Job Bank? It's a website that's actually operated by Employment and Social Development Canada. It's a Canadian government website. So everybody who uploads a job posting to the Canada Job Bank, you can feel pretty safe and secure in applying because you know that they're a legitimate business. They would have had to have given some kind of a verification of their business, something like an HST number or a CRA number or something like that. It's an easy place to search for jobs, but you cannot apply directly through the website. That's one thing that makes Canada Job Bank a little bit different. It always gives instructions on how to apply. Sometimes the instructions are, please send an email to this email address. Sometimes, the instructions are, click this link to come to our company's website and apply online. And even sometimes the instructions are, click this link and we'll take you to indeed.ca and apply through Indeed. So Canada's Job Bank does a good job of catching a lot of different ways to apply for positions. And if you're going to be on the job hunt, it's one that I definitely recommend looking out for and using. Other features include things like career planning. They've got some great quizzes you can do some career assessments, and they've got some great information you can look into if you're looking to start a new career, or if you're just young and you're looking to, graduating from university or graduating from high school and you're planning your next steps, and you're thinking about going into a certain career, you can actually look up on the Canada Job Bank those jobs, see the job descriptions, see what the future output, what the future projection is. Is this going to be a popular job in the future, or is this a job where there's too many people in the market doing this job, and is it going to be hard to find a job? So it's great for things like that. So yeah, job trends like I just mentioned. They even have a resume builder, a step-by-step resume builder. You can go through and input information to help you build your own resume. So I have a short video I'm going to play here about how to search on the Canada Job Bank.
Here we are on the Jobbank website, which is a website run by the Government of Canada and can be found at jobbank.gc.ca. This is a great starting point when looking for a job, because you can use the search bar here to search for a specific job or a specific area. So I'm going to go ahead and type in St. John's. A good tip here is that they're very specific when it comes to the spelling of the location, so we yielded 0 results until we used this specific spelling of St. John's. If you go ahead and click on that, it's going to show you all the results that you're looking for. So as you can see, we found 276 results, all in St. John's, Newfoundland. So you can see here you have the job title, the job location, the employer, and the salary. And you can scroll through and see the different types of jobs that are there. You also have the option to sort the jobs that are presented to you by best match, which is what we're seeing here. But you can also go by date posted, which will show you the most recent posts. You can also sort by distance. So if we go here, you'll see that all these jobs are between 0 and 1 kilometer away, and as we scroll down, they're going to get farther and farther away. So this is what it looks like when you're searching for jobs in a specific region. So let's see what it looks like when we search by job title. If we go back up to the search bar, we can type in whatever job we're looking for. So for example, let's say you're a cook and you're in St. John's. So when we search, it's going to suggest what they think we mean, so we're just going to click that again. So as we can see, there's 23 job postings right now in St. John's that fit that criteria. And we can go back up to the top where it says date posted, and we can see the most recent postings. This is always a good place to start, so you can see the jobs that are most likely to still have vacancies in that position. So if you find a job you might be interested in, you can go ahead and click on it, and it'll bring you to all the details that are available for that position. So I'm going to click on the first one here just to show you what it looks like. So here we can see a lot of really important information: where it's located, what the pay is, it's permanent full-time, the start date is as soon as possible, and you have all the necessary information. This is the full job posting. If you scroll down here, you can see the job requirements. You have the language necessary for this job, the level of education, the years of experience you're going to need, all the additional job requirements you're going to need to meet for this job. So if you're interested in this position and you meet all the requirements, you may choose to apply. So you can click this green rectangle saying Show How to Apply, and frequently you'll have an email come up. So this is who you're going to want to send your resume to. In other cases, you may be required to supply additional information, so pay close attention to what they're asking of you. And those are the basics on how to search for a job using the Jobbank website.
Alrighty.
Here we are.
Alrighty, so that's pretty straightforward, I think, but did anybody have any questions on how to navigate the kind of the Jobbank website or how to apply for a job using the kind of the Jobbank website?
No,
Hello? No? Okay.
no, thank
Oh, I'm sorry. Gotcha.
you. Sounded like a hello.
No worries. Alrighty. So what we're going to talk about for the last half of the session is about what you should be doing when you're applying for a job, not just how you search and how you find jobs, but what you should be looking for when you're making your resume and what you should be thinking about when you're applying for jobs, and just some tips and tricks we can give you. So if you're looking for something a bit specific, if you're looking for a specific career, remember that not all businesses and organizations use these platforms. So what that means is not everybody uses Indeed. Not everybody uses Canada's Job Bank. Some organizations have their own websites and they post their jobs on their own websites, and that's about it. They don't post them other places. So if you can't find what you're looking for, you may need to make a list of employers you want to work for and look on their employment/career sections. That's something I did. I started to work with the Community Sector Council in 2019. Before that, I worked for about 10, 15 years in business-to-business sales. And I decided I wanted to make a career change and get out of the business world and work in the nonprofit world. And I was about 8 months to a year looking for a job to make that change. And what I was doing is I was looking on Indeed, I was looking on Jobbank, but I had a list of employers I wanted to work for, Community Sector Council being one of them. And I would usually once a week, I would check their website just to see if there were any job postings and see if there were any positions available. So those are the kind of things you might have to look at doing as well, on top of using Indeed and Canada's Job Bank and things like that. So when you're writing, when you want to be writing your resume, one tip I mentioned there is to go to jobbank.gc.ca. If you click on career planning and click on job profiles, that's where you're going to be able to search for the kind of career that you want, and you can find the job profiles. If you're already working, or if you had been working in a certain career and you're not, and you want to kind of dress up your resume a little bit and make it stand out, you can look at what the actual job requirements, generic job requirements are for a lot of different professions, and you can find good ways to describe what you were doing in that position. Maybe you worked somewhere, you did a job, and you know what you did, but you don't know the best way to put it on your resume. This is a good way to look that up. You can look up the type of job that you had, you can find out good descriptions, and you can use bits and pieces of that in your resume. So like I said, you would go there, you would type in your previous job title that you want to include in your resume. So this is where you would type it in. So this one is customer service clerk in Newfoundland and Labrador. When you hit search, it's going to show you lots of different things. So a good description, good job duties. So this can give you an idea of the types of things you can include in your resume, and some good verbiage and some good ways of putting it. There's a lot of key words in here that we'll talk a bit about in a few minutes, but there's a lot of good key words in these descriptions and job duties that employers are going to be looking for in your resume. A common question we have is, well, what if I don't have much experience yet? What if I don't have, I'm looking for my first job. Maybe I'm a newcomer to the country and I don't have a lot of experience here with local companies. What is a good way of making sure people understand my skill set and things like that? So there's two types of resumes you can use, a functional and a chronological. And a functional resume is a great resume to use if you don't have a whole lot of experience, because your functional resume focuses on your skills and experience, whereas a chronological resume actually lists your employment in reverse order and explains all the experience you have in underneath each job. So I'll just show you a few examples. So this is a functional resume. They've put their name and contact information at the top. Highly recommend you do this. Put your name and your contact info right at the top. Make it easy to see and find. I've actually had people apply for positions and include their resume and put their name at the top, but not include an address, not include a phone number, not include an email. So I had no way to contact them. I'm not quite sure how that happened, but it did happen to me once, and it's just one of those things I always tell people ever since. For the love of goodness, make sure you include your resume, your name and your address and your phone number and email at the top. Then they have a summary. They're just kind of explaining in a few sentences, their experience to date. And they're listing their areas of expertise, what they specialize in. And then they're listing their skills. And they've broken their skills into categories. So they have 3 categories they've put here. One they've called process streamlining, one they've called complaint resolution, one they've called service-based selling. So they're just running through all the different skills they have in these 3 areas. Then down here they have their experience. They have the 2 jobs they've had, and basically they've listed where they worked and what years they worked, brief experience of what they did, and then their education down at the bottom. So this is a good example of a functional resume, and this is something that somebody who's an employer is going to look at and see right away what your skill set is, which is really good. It's a good way of doing things, especially if you don't have a whole lot of experience. And then, of course, the chronological resume, they just list same thing, name, address, email, all that good stuff at the top, brief summary. But then for professional history, they list where they worked, and they list all of their job duties and kind of explain what they've done in these previous jobs, and then their education and skills. This is just an example. A professional, like an actual resume, would probably be a little bit longer, a bit more information in it, but this is just a brief example to explain what a professional or a chronological resume would look like. So this is better for somebody who might have a bit more experience that they can list on their resume. Hey, Sergio, so you got your hand up there.
Yes, did you find these formats? It's like a template in Indeed.
So this was actually, I wasn't the one who put this here, but it was something from Indeed. Looks like it was something that was on their website, yes.
Okay.
I'm not honestly not quite sure where that came from. But yeah, it looks like this was just a template that was used on the Indeed website.
Okay, I will search for it.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Another thing I meant to mention about the functional resume, it's also really good if you're making a career change. Myself, when I moved from sales to nonprofit world, that's the kind of resume that I had, because my sales experience, when you looked at my resume chronological, I was a career salesperson who worked in, business to business sales, and it just didn't seem to make sense when I was applying for jobs in the nonprofit world. But I did have what I felt to be a lot of skill sets that transferred over. So I was able to make a functional resume that explained what I did and how I could fill the roles of what was what the employers were looking for. And then I just had the bottom, listed where I worked, and it tended to work out. I had a lot of people in the interview kind of be like, "Your resume is really interesting, but you work in sales. What's going on?" kind of thing. So led to a few interesting conversations. But anyway, functional resume is also good for career changes.
Great, thanks.
So also, you can think outside the career box when you're putting things in your resume and you're describing your skills. You don't need to limit yourself to only skills you've earned in the workforce. Do you have any skills that you've earned from things like hobbies? Can you show that you have dedication and that you're open to overcoming challenges? Can you share that you've been involved in any kind of social or community groups or clubs? Your ability to work in groups. Have you done anything in these social or community groups, or any volunteering that may be relevant? Have you ever, gained skills that way that may be relevant? Do you have any extra courses or certifications besides your formal education? Sometimes things are more important than others. So I'm outside of work, I volunteer as a scout leader with my son's beaver group, and I've done a few courses involved in wilderness and things like that. And I wouldn't put it on my resume if I was applying for a job at the Community Sector Council. But let's say if I was looking for a position at a nonprofit that deals with nature, maybe I was looking for, I was applying for a position with the Conservation Corps, or with Wilderness Newfoundland and Labrador, or Paddle Newfoundland and Labrador. If I was applying for a job with one of those organizations, I would include these extra certifications that I have that relate to the outdoors. So if you have a situation like that where you have other certifications that might relate to what you're applying for, by all means include them. Also talk about any presentations in school you've given there. Do you have public speaking experience? Do you have leadership experience? If you can build upon that and use that to expand upon your skill set, that's something that you can put into your resume. We talked about keywords a little while ago, so I want to make sure we all understand what that is. So many employers use a filtering software to narrow down applicants. And what we mean is they're looking for keywords in your people's resumes. So when you're looking for a job online, you're going to see keywords typically in the job phase, in the job posting. So look for words in the job posting. Are they saying they're looking for people with certain skills? Or when it says job requirements, are they looking for certain things? They may say that you must need, or they might say you need to work in a fast-paced environment. So include in your resume that you're used to working in a fast-paced environment, and word it the same way as how they word it in the job posting. That way, when you apply for the job using your resume, and if they're using a technology to kind of scan through who has the keywords in their resume, yours is going to go to the top of the pile. Also make sure you include quality, skills, and credentials that employers are looking for. So sometimes, the keywords that employers are searching for don't necessarily show up in the job ad. So make sure that you're listing the keywords, the key skills and qualities that you have that would make you stand out as an applicant. Make sure you use a friendly resume formatting. What I mean by that is keep an eye out for special instructions. When you're applying for jobs online, sometimes they'll say things like, the employer will say things like, send your resume in a Word document or as a PDF document. So if that's what they're telling you to do, make sure you apply in the way they tell you to. If I was hiring someone and I told people to send me their resume in a Word format, and that's all I said, please send your resume to me in a Microsoft Word format, and somebody sent it to me as a text file or something like that, that would be a big red flag. I'd say, well, hold up, like, why couldn't they send this to me as a Word file? Why didn't they follow these instructions? Things like that. So that's really important. They may even ask you to title your resume in a certain way. That's something I've seen a lot of. People will say, make sure you title this, make sure that your resume title is your name and then position, whatever, doc. So if an employer tells you to title your resume in a certain way, do that. I've even had people seen job postings where they've said, make sure the subject line is this, and it's really, one person had, make your subject line weather the weather. It was spelled W-H-E-T-H-E-R, the W-E-A-T-H-E-R. It just seemed weird, but he told me afterwards that he did that just to see who was paying attention. And he said out of 100 people that applied for jobs, only about 20 people had the right subject line. And he said those are the ones I looked at the most, and they were the ones that I was most favorable to interview because I could tell that they followed in directions and they were paying attention. So these are little things that employers sometimes do. If there's no special instructions when it comes to submitting your resume, make sure you name it clearly and sensibly. Don't just call it resume.doc because there's going to be like 400 people who send a resume that just say resume.doc. Use your name. So for me, I would say Jeff Hilliard resume, and something straightforward if nobody asked me to say anything different. That way, if the employer had that file saved somewhere and he or she wanted to retrieve it later and get it and send it to somebody else in the company, they could just search for my name and they'd find it right away. And like I said, read the job posting. Oh, I'm seeing, sorry, Melinda, so you got your hand up there.
I recently sent a resume to a marketing company, and going with what you said about the subject line, I put in my subject line, your next marketing representative, and within a day or two, I got an interview and was offered a position.
Oh, cool. Yeah, that's
so I think the subject line really caught their attention.
Yeah, no, for sure. Definitely could have played a part. So that's something that I've never done, but it's something that I'm glad to look for you. And thanks for sharing. So yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. So make sure you read the job posting carefully before you submit. Some employers will say, and I've already kind of touched on this, some employers will say, do not apply through the job searching website. They'll say something like, they might say, please email us. They might say to you, please email a resume, to this email address. And if that's the instruction that they give, follow the instruction. Make sure that's what you do. They may want you to apply through the organization's website. So they may say, do not apply through Indeed, click this link and you'll go to their company website and that's where you're going to apply. And it might have a totally different, way of applying than what you would do on Indeed. But anyway, if that's what the employer says, please click on this link and apply through this website. By all means, make sure that's what you do. Make sure you follow their instructions. These instructions are usually outlined very clearly in the job description. So it's not, nobody's trying to trip you up. It's just you got to make sure you read everything and that you follow the instructions. So actually, we made really good time with this. So the last thing we're going to talk about today is to be aware of employment scams. So this is something that existed before, but unfortunately, due to COVID and a lot of people finding themselves unemployed, there's been a lot of this going on in the last 9 months. So the employment scam is increasing, as I said, as a result of the pandemic. And typically, the way the employment scam works is they usually offer too good to be true paying hours in the job posting. And the reason that they're doing this is they're really trying to take advantage of people that are in desperate needs. People have been left unemployed. Some people have families. You might go, you can only go so long without any kind of income. And now you're getting desperate and you see a job that pays $20,000 more than what you got paid before. And it seems like it's an easy kind of job. Awesome. How good could this be? It might be too good to be true. So that's a big thing to look out for. There'll be unclear job requirements. This is a common thing with the employment scam. They tend to not really be very clear on what you're going to be doing. Usually they offer employment after a very informal interview, sometimes no interview at all. Sometimes you might just, if you're on a job site and if you have your resume posted places, sometimes you'll just get an email that says, hey, congratulations, we want to hire you. And that's a bit of a big red flag. If somebody's looking to hire you without ever talking to you, that's a bit unusual. So this is an example of an email that somebody received a few years back. And it says, greetings, we saw your resume online and would like to offer you a job in our company. Your job role and responsibilities will remain the same as stated in your resume. We'll give you a 60% increase in your salary, making your total salary package $200,000 Canadian. You have to log in to work for 30 hours every week compared to your current 45. You can also work from home. If you want to accept the job offer, please send an email to this email address with your date of birth, home address, social insurance number, and your bank account details. So that's a huge red flag. Usually the way these scams work is one of two ways. One, they're trying to trick you into giving them your private information, things like your home address, date of birth, social insurance, your bank account info. They could potentially use this to transfer money out of your bank account. They could use this to potentially steal your identity and try and get credit cards in your name. So this is something that, this is what they're trying to do in one way. Another thing that they're doing is that we've seen really popular in the pandemic is people are getting hired to work for these jobs, and then the employer is sending a fraudulent check, and it's a bad check, but it looks legitimate, but it's a bad check, and they'll send them a check for say $2,000, and they'll say use this to go buy a laptop, use this to go buy some office furniture for your new home office. Whatever money is left over, please send back to us. Send us back to us in an e-transfer. So people take that check, they go out, they spend the money, then they have $500 left over. They send an e-transfer back for $500. It takes your bank 2 or 3 weeks to see that that check was bad. Once the bank figures it out, they come back to you looking to get the $2,000 back. And you've got it gone. You've spent the money on office supplies and you've given the excess back. By the time this has happened, the people that you're talking to will all of a sudden vanish. You're not going to be able to get in touch with them. They're not going to reply to your emails. It's all going to be gone. So it's something that you need to just, if you ever have a situation where somebody's offering you a job, but they want you to do something strange with money, like they want to send you a check and you got to spend some money and send them back the excess. That's unusual. That's not how businesses tend to operate. They would usually give you what you need, or if you need to buy anything, they would tell you to go ahead and buy it and just submit your receipts. They'll expense it for you. They would never tell you to. They'll never just mail you a check for $2,000 and tell you to send back the excess and things like that. So those are all big red flags to look out for when you're on the job hunt. So yeah, we made actually pretty good time. We got it done there in less than an hour. But today we talked about online job postings. We talked about some different online job searching platforms. We touched on some resume writing tips, note about formatting, and we made sure you knew about some different kinds of employment scams that are out there and how to spot them. So at this point, if anybody had any questions, by all means, feel free to unmute yourselves and ask away.
Question in the chat box there for you. Charlotte asked, what would be a couple key things to make sure to add to a cover page?
Right. So your cover page, your cover letter, that's you should keep it short is the main thing. Don't have it be a very long cover letter. You want to make sure you get through in 3 paragraphs who you are, what you're about, and how you're a good fit for this company. So the first paragraph should be about, hi there, my name is Jeff. I saw your ad posted in this location. I'm very interested in applying. And, then the next paragraph be like, here's my education background. Here's my here's my education background. Here's my employment background, and here's why I'm a good fit. And the third paragraph can be the same kind of thing. I have experience doing X, Y, Z that you say in the job posting is required. So what you're looking for. I hope you consider me for an interview. Please see here's my phone number and my email address. Look forward to hearing from you.
And I thought it was an amazing presentation. I want to thank everybody for tuning in here today. Thanks, everybody, and I hope everyone has a great day.